What's good, YouTube? Because of Coffee here. So, we're diving into a request from Spell for this one. This is the Red Clay Strays. It's called Sunshine. It's on a channel called Western as Fuck. I like that. That's funny. I like that. So we'll see what we get with this one. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for all of the support. If you're new here, hit that subscribe for me. We talk about mental health, addiction, world issues, everything in between. Break down all the lyrics, instrumentation. Looks like we got a music video for this one. I like on the whole 9 yards on busting down the lyrics and talking about the deeper meaning inside of them, relating it to our own personal struggles and things that we have gone through in life. I think it's very beneficial that we can get on here and have a platform to do that with each other. You can help a lot of people, and you can potentially save a lot of people's lives whenever it comes to being stuck inside of addictions or stuck inside of mental health struggles. I always say, please go get professional help if you're really struggling with those things. There are people in this world who care and want to see you get better. I reached out for that help many times, and it took many tries, and I eventually arrived at no longer drinking alcohol and not doing hard drugs anymore. So I promise you, you can do it, man. It's going to be a tough road, and you're going to have to do a lot of things and change a lot of things in your life, but eventually you'll settle into something that you know is right for yourself, and you'll get out there and you'll go show the world that, and then you can inspire others and motivate them to change their lives as well. And that's what it's all about on here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. It really means the world to me. Spell, you said that this was a sort of faith-based song in your opinion, so we will see what we get with these lyrics right here. I'm very excited to check out the Red Clay Strays. So we'll get into this for you. Bakasa Kavi, a reaction video a day or two. Keep the doctor away. Fuck those apples. This is the Red Clay Strays Sunshine. I like the black and white.
There's no shame in being brokenhearted. Oh, I try to do more to fix my soul.
Whoa.
I'm trying to be more than when I started. There's no path before me. There's no horror story that could ever keep my God from swinging low.
Wow. Man. Wow. His voice is incredible. That took me like way off guard. Spell. I always love your requests. You always request stuff that hits the soul like this. Like the really deep stuff like Ivar and stuff like that. Like crazy requests from Spell. I love you, Spell. Thank you for all your requests. It means the world to me. This is really deep. Very well written, and I love the chord progression. It's an unconventional chord progression and cadence to the song as well. He has a really cool approach to it as well that adds more feeling just because of how it's carried, the timing it's in and everything, and the chord switches in it being sort of unconventional compared to the normal 4/4 4 chord pop structure that we have become used to in modern music, right? But he's really taking this and deepening it with his approach to it instrumentally as well. The lyrics, though, there's no shame in being broken-hearted, though I try to do more to fix my soul. Ain't that the struggle of life, though, right? You're just trying to have the best, most positive outlook on the things inside of your life. There's no shame in being broken-hearted, but I'm trying to fix my soul, he says. No, there is no shame in being broken-hearted. Life does a lot of things to people that can mess them up, right? A lot of things happen in life that can just weigh on your mind, and it really can cause you to go do a lot of things that are out of character for you, or you fall into addictions, or your mental health declines and you gotta go get help and stuff. Like, it's endless, man. That's the lesson of life, right? We're learning. We're here to learn, and we're here to experience, right? Experience ourselves source experiencing itself in a subconscious manner almost, right? We could have that conversation. I'm trying to be more than when I started. Man, yeah, wow. I'm trying to be more than my beginning. That, I mean, think about that. Think about it being said that way as well. I'm trying to be more than my beginning. That is profound. That is a profound lyric right there. This is really, really deep. There's no path before me. There's no horror story that could ever keep my God from swinging low. Said he's gonna chop the feet out from underneath. Wow. Wow. And also low enough to be in touch as well. Wow. You could take that a couple different ways, man. Wow. He's saying I'm protected. Wow. The things that try to challenge me falter. That's almost what's being said there because of my faith and my belief that I'm protected and I will survive, even though I'm trying to fix my soul and be more than my own beginning, which is a fucking difficult thing to do. Let's be real here. I mean, half of us that end up in that position where we genuinely feel that way don't even survive it to tell the story, and that's the sad truth. It's actually more than half. When I was in rehab, there was like 30 people or so in the room, and they said that it would be a miracle if more than one of us actually maintained sobriety after we left there. And now when I look back at it, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, fuck, is everyone else okay? Right? Like, that's where you sit with it emotionally, and it's like, I really pray for those people. I don't even know those people, right? Very briefly around them for like a week. And there were some beautiful souls inside of there that I have wonderful conversations with and had an awesome time watching movies with and hanging out, getting to know each other, talking about faith, talking about music, talking about recovery and how hard it can be to stay sober and stuff like that. So many beautiful faces, and I pray for all of them, and I hope that they found their way, man. I really do hope that they found their way. Some of them were very level-headed people at the end of the day once those things weren't in their system. When you saw them detoxing and they were starting to feel better, we were playing basketball, right? We were just hanging out outside playing basketball, smoking cigarettes, getting to know each other. I pray for those people all the time because, like I said, that quote, like, it's a haunting quote because it's statistically accurate. That 1 out of 30 will be the one that actually manages to do it. And I just hope and pray that everyone else I met inside of there is okay. And that goes for the rest of the rehabs I was in as well before that, my failed attempts, where I was the statistic in that instance. I know what it looks like and feels like on both sides of the spectrum for that now, and it's much better over here. I really hope that anyone going through that, you find your way over here because it is so much more beautiful. I pray for you guys all the time. Sorry for the rant, but that just spell. You were not wrong. You were not wrong about this song at all.
People act a certain way in trial, different than they do on any day. This is when you see a man's true colors. This is when he shows you how much he can go through before all his faith is stripped away.
Damn. Oh, I know that side as well. right? You guys know that. I actually made a video about that last week, talking about how getting on here and deciphering all of these songs and talking about all of the topics. And there's a lot of spiritual stuff and faith based stuff that we have covered on the channel. And I told you guys how running this channel and the songs that we were doing actually brought me closer to God. And it was so profound for me because I had that falling out during my addiction where you like he's talking about the screw it moment where you lose all hope. That's what he's talking about. It says people act a certain way in trials different than they do on any day. It's saying when you're challenged, your perception can completely shift, right? When you're stuck inside of those trials, you'll be a totally different person than what you actually are. But then this is when you see a man's true colors. This is when he shows you how much he can go through before all his faith is stripped away. Can you make it to the other side of, in addiction's case and mental health's case, death in most instances? You know, you have people trying to get rid of their own selves because they're sad, because they're depressed, or because a circumstance fell upon them that was so bad that they felt the need to do that. That's often what happens to people. They'll lose somebody, or somebody will relentlessly beat them down, like in an abusive relationship or something like that, and then they turn to that shit to numb the pain, and they lose all the faith. And that's when you find out a person's true colors inside of a situation, is if they stand back up and they pull themselves out of that situation and come out on the other side still having faith at the end of the day. That's the testament to the trial being completed. That's what he's talking about here. And it's really difficult because, like I said, at least I would probably say 70 to 80% of people fail it and are no longer here to talk about it. Where if they would have survived it, they would have had the most inspiring and tragically motivating story to tell after it. Oh boy. This is really deep right here. This has me like baffled. Spell, I'm really grateful that you requested this. I think this is an important conversation to have because I can speak as somebody who, as a young person, excuse my rant, but this needs to be talked about. I think stuff like this is important. As a young person, I had a lot of faith and I actually believed, and like I wanted to go to church and stuff like that. Like I asked my family to take me to church when I was like 12 and that sort of thing. And then things were just really messed up with some abuse going on, and it was bad for everyone involved. Like not just me, everyone involved it was bad for. And I went rogue, like dark side. And by the time I was 14, I was starting to smoke weed and do drugs and stuff. And it just fell apart from there, right? It was very young. It just fell apart. And I tried many times to like have my faith, and I was like super spiritual and like researched all that kind of stuff and stayed inside of researching it, but I never had a true faith. Like I couldn't live inside of it the way that I was destroying myself. And once I quit drinking and then started running this channel gradually, I remembered exactly how I felt before the bitterness and the addictions all happened. And I'm like, really grateful that I was able to find that again, because most people don't even survive and don't get to do that. It's a scary thought, right? It's a scary thought because I know for a fact that most of the things that happened to me were things that took out other people that I knew, right? Like, those circumstances that I had placed myself in had literally killed people that I personally knew. And the fact that I'm still here, it can only be from God or something wanting me to stay here, in my honest opinion, right? Opinions are opinions. Everybody has one. You guys can see whatever you want when you look at me, and that's just your perspective. We're all allowed to have that, right? It's free speech, and that's the way the world is. But that's how I see it. I feel like a miracle most days. Like, it mesmerizes me that I'm still standing here because I experienced it, and I didn't think I was gonna make it. I'll tell you that firsthand. I didn't think I was gonna make it, and that's why I have faith now, because there's only one reason I could have, from my own perspective, and that's because I've had literal conversations with that source itself and thanked it and prayed for other people's recovery and other people's safety, right? And that's all there really is to it for me. I try not to preach too much on here to you guys, so I apologize for this very long rant, but this is one of those, man.
But I work hard not to fall, 'cause it's a long way down, and I owe it to my family to keep my feet on the ground. It's in the sunshine. I feel the sunshine shining down on me.
Beautiful chorus there. I like that he did two verses and then a chorus. That's cool that he structured it like that. That's cool. He said, I work hard not to fall because it's a long way down. I owe it to my family to keep my feet on the ground. It's in the sunshine. I feel the sunshine shining down on me. Beautiful. Beautiful right there. He's just saying, like, I can't let myself fall apart because now there's too much at stake, is what he's saying there. He says, I work hard not to fall. And this might, I don't know, maybe he had some past struggles with addictions or mental health and stuff like that, or living inside of faith. Maybe he has a similar kind of story inside of his life, because this right here is redemption music. Like, for real. he is he's preaching right here. He is. This is such a strong, one of the most solid messages we've ever had on the channel. I'm so impressed with how he's written this. He's not overextending any metaphors or like saying anything crazy. It's literally blunt statements the whole way through. And he's created this masterpiece of not losing your faith and staying inside of it despite heartbreaks and despite trying to fix yourself and not being perfect. And that's the thing about it, man. Like, humans aren't meant to be perfect. We're flawed creatures, right? We are flawed creatures, but the thing about it is that that's the beauty in it. That's the beauty in free will, and that's the beauty in the human experience, is that if everything was perfect, why would you even want to experience it? There's no, like, the only essence inside of that is perfection. There's no, like, side path. You guys know what I mean. Like, there's no side quest to go on, and, like, experience life. Like, I say a lot of the time that we're the universe experiencing itself, and something more powerful than the universe made the universe. That's how I've always felt, and that's the source that I pray to and talk to. God is what most people call it. People have many names for it. There's many names, but God is the one that I've always believed in and used. So, I mean, whatever you believe in, at the end of the day, you have to admit that having faith in, even if it's like atheists will have like faith in their own ability to do things with outcomes and stuff. And I know a lot of people that live as atheists and have had very, very good lives for themselves. So, I mean, it's not for me to judge. That's in a Bible verse. Let he who lives without sin be the first one to cast a stone, right? So it's kind of like you just have to let people do what they're gonna do, and as long as it doesn't afflict you in any way, then don't bother with it. You can tell them how you think things should be and how you feel inside of yourself. But at the end of the day, as long as you have faith in the fact that things are positive and that people are beautiful and that we should help each other and that we should spread that energy to each other, that's the most important thing at the end of the day, because then we can avoid overbearing negativity inside of the world as a whole by just having a generally more popular, or not popular, a generally more positive environment, right? That would be a more popular option, though. I think everybody agrees that that's the more popular option to select, though. I misspoke, but it actually does fit as well. I think that that's the more positive way to approach things, is to just put it out there positively and resonate that way with each other. And at the end of the day, we can all have faith that we're in a positive environment, vibing with each other, and that's really the most important thing when it comes to all living together on this planet, in my opinion. Sorry for the rants, man. Like I told you guys, it's one of those. Sorry about it. We're here.
I admit at times I've been unfaithful.
Mm-hmm.
Times where all I do is worry and doubt.
Wow.
That's when my God comes like warming rays of summer,
That's love.
melting all my worries and my insecurity, and giving me the strength I've been without.
I feel like he's pulling words out of my brain. Yeah, that's that's really relatable. He is so relatable on a soul level. This is so far beyond surface level music that it's ridiculous. Like, songs like this are very important. When was this video made? A year ago? So this is a recent video too. I love how recent this is. That's a good sign. We need more stuff like this. Yeah, we need stuff like this. It's really, really purely honest about his own struggle with it as well, which I've talked to you guys about in this video already. I told you a lot of the story. Actually, there's a lot more, but we'll get there someday. I admit at times I've been unfaithful, times where all I do is worry and doubt. Just doubting everything that's going on, doubting all of the stuff that's going on, and not thinking that you're good enough and everything like that. He said, that's when my God comes like warming rays of summer, melting all my worries and my insecurities and giving me the strength I've been without. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I can tell you guys, man, whenever stuff gets hectic, whenever I feel like things are getting hectic and I just need to like rearrange myself a bit, I always just ask God, what do I do, man? Like, where should I take this situation? How should I handle this? I'm worried, this and that. And before I know it, it's like I'll get an answer in some form. Even if it's like a solid, like, no, probably don't do that, right? I always follow it. I just trust it, and I'm like, okay, we'll go that way then. I'll follow, right? I'll follow that lead. Because synchronicity is one of those things where it's like, I don't believe in coincidences anymore. I've seen too much and experienced too much that going against them caused really unfortunate shit to happen to the point where I was like, oh, okay, nah. And when you just follow it and actually take that sign for the sign that you think it is, and you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm just weirding myself out or whatever. If you actually follow the sign, you tend to have more positive outcomes every single time. Release the worry, pray to God, and when you see the sign, don't think of it as a coincidence. Follow it. I promise you, the outcome will generally be better than your own human decision. As weird as that sounds, right? As weird as that sounds, the outcome generally will be better than your own human decision. And that even applies to atheists because they still see like little signs to themselves where it's like, oh, I should do it like that. And maybe they don't see it as God talking to them, but God's going to try to talk to everybody, all of his children at the end of the day, even the atheists. So if they choose to follow those signs and think that it's their self, that's their prerogative. That's what I have to say about that, right? More power to you if that's how you want to view it inside of your life. I view it as the truth of what I think it is, and that is definitely source and what created all of this in the first place.
I work hard not to fall. Oh, 'cause it's a long way down. And I owe it to my family to keep my feet on the ground. It's in the sunshine. I feel the sunshine shining down on me, oh, shining down on me. Oh, 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 oh,
Beautiful. His voice is so beautiful.
It's in the sunshine. I feel the sunshine shining down on me.
What a beautiful song. This is easily one of the most beautiful things we've ever had on the channel. So Spell, I first want to thank you for that. I don't have anything else to say. I said it all already. This is fantastic. His voice is amazing. This is one of the best songs we've ever had on the channel. Best discussions that we've ever had. I really, really loved this a whole lot. The original video will be in the description. Subscribe to Red Clay Strays. Support the artists we have on the channel. If you need help, please go get it. I hope that you guys find faith inside of your life. It really is life-changing and life-saving. It will take you places you could never believe. I love you guys so much. I'm Vakasa Kavi. A reaction video a day or two. Keep the doctor away. Fuck those apples. Leave a like for me, comment those suggestions, subscribe up this way, bang the notification bell for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you so much. Have a blessed night. Thank you for everything. Peace.